1. What is up, everybody? This is episode 17 of the Sci-Fly Zone, and today's destination is going to be none other than Metropolis, as we are going to be reviewing the Superman movie, the brand new one that just came out this July, very recently to CJ's birthday. Happy birthday, CJ. But yeah, I would say that was a pretty good birthday gift. What are you going to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was a great birthday gift. I had a great time. Thank you again for taking us. I had a wonderful time. And yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. Um, I think it was a great first start to this new era of DC. I just want to say right off the bat, David Cornsweet is a very good Superman. He was a really good choice, dude.
Totally agree.
He did great in this. Um, so yeah, this was a great movie. I'm looking forward to talking about it, and I'm looking forward to what we see in the future.
Yeah. What do you want to lead us off here with topic wise for the movie?
So I think the opening of the movie is a pretty fair start.
No, yeah,
Honest.
yeah. I'm with you on that one.
um,
Let's start at the start. Let's do it.
yeah, man. So we start with some exposition, some little background of this of the movie, talking about 3 centuries ago, the first metahumans were discovered. 3 decades ago, Superman, the specific metahuman, arrived at Earth, and then 3 weeks ago, I think it was, right? He had stopped a war between Baravia. Um,
Yeah, although
and
before that, he had announced himself as Superman 3 years prior to that. So
yeah,
he had been
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Superman for 3 years, leading up to the point of him stopping the invasion of Baravia into Jarhenpur.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Um, and then we get 3 minutes ago, Superman loses his first fight, which was very surprising to me. Not the way
Yeah.
I thought the movie was going to start.
Hmm.
I did not expect it to start with Superman losing a battle immediately. I thought this was a really bold start to the movie, into the new
100%.
era of Superman. But I thought it was great. I think this is a really intriguing way to start it.
Yeah, one thing that I felt that I didn't like about the Henry Cavill take in the Henry Cavill Superman, I just felt like he was so OP to the point where like I never worried about anything happening to him besides the people he associated himself with. Like the
Mhm.
worst pain he was gonna feel was him losing someone he cares about. He wasn't gonna be feeling any sort of physical pain whatsoever. I mean, that dude was so brokenly powerful. I mean,
Mhm.
so I just never felt like he was ever at risk of, of anything. So for this movie to start off this way, I thought it was a really bold way, as you mentioned, because I feel like it not only established the world that we're entering for the first time really well, that metahumans have been here for over 300 years and that Superman has been doing this for only 3 years, similar to how when we saw Batman for the first time, he had only been doing this for around 2 years. So I think it's really interesting that DC is taking their core characters kind of back to the start, but not right at the beginning, because we are very familiar with a lot of these characters' origin stories at this point. So I do like that they're not necessarily skipping over it, but just acknowledging that we understand that core aspect of their character and they want to dive into other parts.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I appreciate James Gunn and like everybody who worked on this movie understanding like they don't need to like walk everybody through the beginning of Superman's life, like how he was born and how he got to Earth, because a lot of people like know that. So I
Mhm.
thought like jumping into the movie like right where it started with like Superman very down and like you said, vulnerable, like we hadn't really seen the Henry Cavill version of. Yeah, this got me hooked right away.
Yeah, like I would say the biggest conflict that Henry Cavill's Superman had to deal with was having to kill Zod,
Hmm.
the last Kryptonian alive. So
Yeah.
I understand that like those are tough things he had to go through, but I just didn't feel like he really went through much. Like, yes, he did die to Doomsday coincidentally, which is also the name of the Avengers movie that's coming out soon, so just funny parallel there. But yes, he did die because Doomsday did stab him with his bone protrusion type thing while Superman was trying to kill him with the Kryptonian spear, and so they both die essentially. So like, yes, that is like a very big death. But before that, I don't know. I didn't have much to go off of, and I feel like this movie really did more to establish like the things that he has to go through, and he just has a lot more challenges, and I appreciate that aspect, because one of the biggest badges that he wears on his sleeve is the fact that he considers himself a human outside of being a Kryptonian. Like he embraces all the aspects of being a human, and he wants to show people that he is human, and he wants to fight for the good of humanity.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I really like that aspect of him, and part of being human is like struggling and failing at times, you know. And Superman he was he was down bad at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like there was bruising on his neck already. 3 minutes is pretty quick for bruising. He was spitting up blood. He had a tooth laying on the ground. So like this was a great way, I think, to introduce the threat to the movie, because like if the movie's named after Superman and he's starting like this, what, how did he get into to this point? You know, what is the reason that brought him down so hard?
Yeah, and initially it is revealed to be the Hammer of Baravia, but we quickly find out that that is actually none other than Ultraman, which who none better than Superman than Ultraman, of course, because that's how Lex Luthor thinks. So
Yeah,
initially, Luthor is trying to play everyone and make this seem like this is an act of Baravia in retaliation to Superman stopping the invasion of them going into Jarhanpur. So then everyone is mad at Superman because they have to deal with the collateral damage of that, even though Superman was just trying to do the right thing. And they actually dive into this a little bit when Superman offers to be interviewed by Lois Lane as Superman instead of just Clark Kent. And Lois Lane was giving him some flack for him not thinking about the political ramifications of his decision. And I just love the fact that he said, dude, people were gonna die. Like, what are we even talking about here? Like, I
yeah,
had to do something about it, and people should be more focused on the fact that a country responded to this with a bigger act of violence and war on US soil, when all he did was prevent people from dying, and also no significant injuries, no casualties in his prevention as well. So why are people focused on that more than the fact that another country is invading another country? Like, what the heck?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that scene in particular, that interview scene was great. Rachel Brosnahan was great as Lois Lane in this movie, and she was asking him some really tough questions. You know, she was confronting him like head on about like, hey, you inserted yourself into this war, essentially representing America in a way, you know. But I mean, he like spells out his morals like right there. Like, people are going to die. I'm gonna do something about it. I'm not gonna let these people get hurt. So yeah, I thought this was a great scene. He even at one point like screams, like yells at her. Not like it's not like directed at her or anything about her, but like the way that he has his emotions have been building up throughout the whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
He just like snaps at one point and like just screams like people are gonna die. You know.
Yeah.
Apparently that scene was 12 minutes long, which it did not feel like at all.
No,
Um,
it was a great scene.
yeah, yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
That whole
and
thing was great.
yeah, and I like the fact that he pointed out that he wasn't representing any country at all. He was representing himself. You know, he just,
Yeah,
people were going to die, and he wanted to prevent that from happening. And I thought that was a great thing for them to establish for his character, because this is our first time seeing this Superman. And the biggest thing he had to overcome in this movie was people believing that he actually stood for the good of humanity, and that he was a good person, and that even though he might be an alien, that doesn't make him any less human, because his actions portray that he is a genuine caring person, and that is what should be focused on. And I really like that they wanted to prove that to us, like to like only not have Superman prove that to the world that he is trying to protect, but also us, the audience, that that is who he is.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that was a great aspect of Superman throughout the whole movie. You could really see like the compassion that he has for people and the
Yeah.
empathy that he shows for people in this movie. I mean, like there are like some points, like several times where he like expresses his worry, uh, for like people's safety, and like sometimes like even in the middle of a battle,
Hmm.
like he making sure the people in that building were
He
okay.
saved a squirrel, man.
Yeah,
Remember?
dude. Yeah, bro. Like nothing is gonna get hurt on his watch as long as he has something to say about it. Um, but so yeah, he was great throughout this movie. You mentioned Ultraman a bit ago, and he was, I thought, a great uh piece for Luther Core as the villains in this group. He was like visually, like everything from his armor to like the way he fought, like the power he had. He was
Mhm.
like such an imposing threat. And I love the way that he was like controlled too. They show like Lex Luthor and his people like up in their headquarters, which is like hanging between two skyscrapers connected by
Mhm.
like a bridge basically.
Yeah.
Um, and he's like shouting like controls at them and basically like using him as a
It's like,
video game
yeah,
character.
he's like playing Battleship right now,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
he's playing it's Battleship combined with Street Fighter. And
Yeah.
he's
In
just like
Mortal Kombat.
yeah, yeah, 100%. And like he's just kicking Superman's ass for a while
Hmm.
because Luther is obsessed with Superman, essentially. He's studied everything you could know about him. Everything
Yeah.
like in his movesets, his fighting tendencies.
Hmm.
I believe the number was like 20, he has 2,500 like possible moves to use against Superman at any
Yeah.
point. So yeah, I mean this was a great introduction um to Ultraman and to Lex Luthor.
Hmm.
I think they were both really great in this movie.
Yeah, and I do like that they sent him to jail at the end of the movie because one of the major comic runs that they're pulling from is All-Star Superman, and Lex Luthor spends time in jail
Oh
during
yeah.
a portion of that comics. There's actually a panel that I'm thinking of right now of him asking Clark to feel his real muscles, not the fake muscles that Superman has. So
Yeah,
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 this,
he gets like prison buff, right? In
yeah,
jail.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
his arms are huge and every like yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
I hope we
These
get
are man-made muscles, boy.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they build more off of that. And I do like how they ended it. Like I imagine we're gonna be getting more Lex Luthor in the future, you know.
Oh,
Um
100%,
he's gonna find a way
100%.
to get out. He's gonna get out some way and he's gonna come back even stronger. And I'm really looking forward to what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, in Batman v Superman, Lex Luthor was single-handedly the one who orchestrated Doomsday's creation.
Oh
So,
wow.
so he really has like he has the brains to really put together some crazy stuff. I mean, he created a pocket universe in this movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
his technology and his brains were just insane.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they really showcased his intelligence in this movie. Um and yeah, I mean creating a pocket universe like without destroying the entire world in a second is like pretty impressive. I think there was a line in the movie that said, anytime someone enters or leaves, there's a chance that it's going to create a black hole and like suck everything in. So, I mean, that just shows like one how smart Luther is to be able to like do that and pull off that feat, but also how like unhinged and how willing he is to destroy Superman no matter what. If he's gonna like, willing to destroy
Yeah, and
an
also
entire
how
city.
much funding he's willing to get for it as well. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as he sees an opportunity to get the government to fund his mission, he jumps on it. And also,
Hmm.
he was willing to start an international conflict just to have an excuse to kill Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when he had him captured, he was still killing innocent civilians in
Yeah.
the meantime.
He
Which
had him.
RIP to the guy who gave Superman a free falafel and died because
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
Yeah, man.
That was so sad.
That was sad. And I honestly didn't expect them to show it like on screen. Obviously, there wasn't like gore or anything. It was like a wide shot of it. But like you see him, like Luther pulls the trigger and he falls to the ground. It was kind of um like not. I mean, I'm sure for Superman, it was like incredibly traumatic and jarring.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean him and also the character who was also stuck in a jail cell with him in the
mhm.
movie Metamorpho. Really
Yep.
cool that they revealed him in this pocket dimension that we were previously mentioning. So Lex Luthor was using this pocket dimension as basically his own private prison where he keeps
Mhm.
anyone and everyone he dislikes, including his ex-girlfriends. Pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude is a
yeah,
complete, utterly deranged lunatic with no sense of boundaries and will do anything and everything he feels is necessary, which is just scary.
yeah, yeah. He's unhinged. Absolutely. He's got like ex-girlfriends in there. He's got like uh prisoners that like the government like wants to keep anonymous hiding in there. He's got um uh he has political opponents in there. Like he has an entire industry in this pocket dimension, including a bunch of um, genetically engineered monkeys to go online and write mean things about Superman on Twitter and create hashtags and trends,
Also known as
which are
Zack Snyder fans.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah, I feel like James Gunn put that in as like kind of a like making fun of
Yeah,
people.
just a little bit.
Um, there's a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was that was really funny.
100%. I totally agree. Crypto, first time he's ever
Mhm.
appeared on screen in a movie.
Yeah,
Super awesome. I love Crypto. He was so adorable.
yeah, this was great, man. And he looked very realistic too. In
Yeah, the
the parts
CGI
that were
was
the CGI was
incredible.
incredible. He looked great. Um, I've heard that there was like hesitation from DC in the past to bringing crypto into on-screen stuff because they thought like maybe he was a little too silly for it.
Hmm.
And there were definitely he was definitely like pretty silly in this movie. There was some not necessarily like comic relief, but kind of like a palate cleanser in a way, a
Yeah.
lot of the time. Um, but like there was I think he fit really well. There was a lot of in this movie. There were definitely some very serious parts to this movie,
Hmm.
like the overarching like message to it, but there were also some very funny and very lighthearted parts to it. So, yeah, I thought Crypto was great. I was very happy to see him in this movie, having his own collar with the Superman logo, holding up his cape. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, I love the cape. And also I thought it was hilarious that like he's saying, "Oh, I'm just dog sitting. He's not even my dog." But then
Yeah,
he's also willing to die for the dog as well. Like I love
yeah, yeah, 100%. And actually, um, we we find out at the end from a Supergirl cameo that he
super cool.
is yes, super cool, Supergirl. Obviously, that's going to be the next DC movie coming out next year, I believe. So I'm excited to see what they do with that and kind of get to know her character a little bit more. But yeah, it turns out at the end that she is the rightful owner of crypto, and Superman's been dog sitting the whole time,
Yeah.
which I think it kind of made me rethink a couple scenes a little bit. Like, obviously, Superman was very like desperate and determined to get crypto back as soon as Lex Luthor took him.
Hmm.
Um, but there were some scenes where like he was getting frustrated at crypto a bit. He wasn't really listening to him all the time. They had a love-hate relationship, I'd say. But I think maybe the reason that he was so desperate to getting crypto back, obviously because he's great and he's a dog, but also because it's not his. If crypto got lost on his watch, he's gonna get worried that his cousin's gonna come kill him because he lost her dog.
Yeah, I mean, and
Um,
she seems more unhinged than Superman ever could.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
because he says that she parties a lot. I mean, on her way out, she said, "Thanks for watching him, bitch."
Yeah, yeah, she was great. She was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see them tap into that unhingedness and like that morally gray aspect to a super
Mm,
character, because like we've seen a lot of like an evil Superman character type, but I feel like we haven't seen just like a Superman that like not a Superman, just a super esque character, kind of like a
mm,
Batman esque character, like Robin or Nightwing or whatever.
yeah.
Like taking that character and putting them through some like really human like situations like loss, grief, sadness,
Mhm.
trauma, and seeing how they handle it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that aspect, and that's a big part of the reason why I love this movie and um, the portrayal of Superman because there is like a big emphasis on him being human. As much of a like superhero as he is, and like
Yeah.
how much more power he does have than everybody,
Mhm.
and like the responsibility that he wields. He really emphasizes his humanity in this, and I think the scenes with his Earth parents did a really good job with that.
100%.
Because I mean, everything was like different in those scenes. Everything felt super different. He was like away from the city. They were out on. They had their own farm. There was nobody around. They had some cows there, but it was just like a lot more quiet. Um, he didn't have he didn't have to worry about um, like people throwing cans at him
Yeah, it
or
felt like a
anything.
very, very safe space.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a very safe space for him, which I thought that was great. His parents were great in this movie too.
Yeah, I mean, the scene with his dad just saying like, look, okay, also really quick, for context for this point that I'm about to make, Superman, big part of his origin story is, obviously Krypton being destroyed and his parents sending him to Earth with the message of protect humanity, do what's right, you are the last incarnation of us, so do us good, protect humanity. But this movie takes that and flips it on its head by having that only be half of the message that was sent to Earth, and as the rest of it got lost in translation. So Superman only heard the first half, which was the part that I mentioned, just be good, protect humanity, do all the good stuff. But what he never heard was, until Lex Luthor was able to decipher it, they were basically saying humanity is stupid, you should rule over them and kill anyone who doesn't want to vibe with that. And he was heartbroken by this because that not only shook how he viewed his parents, but how everyone on Earth viewed him, because he's the most powerful metahuman of them all at this point, and they are worried that he could be someone that wants to rule over them entirely, even though that's the one thing he's been trying to establish that he's not the entire time. Going back to what I said earlier, he had to just prove to not only us, the audience, but the world that he exists in, that he is just someone that wants to protect people. And his father said, look, that's all you've been doing this whole time, and I'm so effing proud of you, man. Like you're an alien who lost everything he ever had. That can bring so much anger and trauma and sadness, and you channel it into being good, and you try to protect people from feeling that same type of pain. And I'm hella proud of you, and that's what you should keep doing. And he's like, you know what, you're right. So then he goes back, fights again, saves the day. It's great.
Yeah, man, I love that scene with his dad. I was honestly very surprised about how they handled the message and the second half of the message, And I mean, seemingly it was the actual second half of the message.
Okay, dude, I couldn't believe it. I thought that Lex Luthor 100% doctored the
I
second
totally
half.
thought it was doctored. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I guess that was really it. And
Yeah.
which is also a very bold choice for them to make. But I am glad that he made it, because like we've been saying earlier, he really does embrace the human aspect of his existence, and the Kryptonian aspect of his existence could have led him to just outright annihilation for either himself or all of humanity. So the fact that he didn't embrace like the full aspect of his Kryptonian side, and he embraced more of his human side, that made him into the Superman that we know him today.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, he was heartbroken by that message and the second half of it, because while he is a Kryptonian, he like you said, he's also a human, and there was a really great line. I think it was from his dad in that same scene that you were talking about when they were sitting on the bench, where he says, your interpretation of the message is way more valuable, or is way more important than people's perceptions of the message and of you, and I think that's very true, because um, Superman saw, obviously he wasn't expecting his parents to want him to take over Earth, and start a new Kryptonian line.
Mhm.
He wanted to go there to protect people and do what's right for the people on Earth, and do what's good. And I think that's kind of a big part of why he cares so much about people being safe and not letting anybody get hurt, because not only does he care about those people, but he also kind of has the pressure from his parents to, in his mind, keep the people safe, because that's how he interpreted the message,
Mhm.
So if somebody gets hurt on his watch, it's almost like he's letting his parents down in a way.
Yeah, like that was their dying wish.
Yeah, 100%. But it turns out, I mean, it was a very different message than he thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just crazy decision, but I am really happy that he continued to believe in the better side of himself and
Yeah.
to fight for good. And also, I think another thing that also helped him continue to pick humanity and pick the human side was Lois Lane and Mr. Terrific going into the Pocket Universe to help save him from Lex Luthor's containment of him.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we haven't really even talked about the Justice Gang yet, you know.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Green Lantern, man. Let's talk about
Not
Green
just any
Lantern.
Green Lantern, Guy Gardner Green
Yep.
Lantern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was
Oof,
great in this, man.
haircut, Green Lantern.
He
But
got
I
the
love
bowl
it.
cut,
I love it.
the comic accurate bowl cut. Yeah, he was great in this movie, man. I really enjoyed him. He was a super funny character, but like his powers too were like incredible, super fun to watch, like very
Yeah.
visually appealing too.
Yeah.
He's he was just great. I'm really looking forward to the TV show of that he's gonna be in.
Yeah. Remember that post I sent you about him saying he's going to be dropping the most bombs in his whole career in that
Whole lot of
show?
them. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I'm very excited to see the tone of that show 100%.
yeah,
Especially since it's going to be like a murder mystery type thing
yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
that's going to dive into the more cosmic aspects of the DC universe, which it's really interesting how a murder taking place in, I think it's like the middle of Nebraska or something like that, is going to tie into like the bigger cosmic like elements of the DC universe. I'm just so intrigued. I don't know.
That is a good point. Yeah, yeah. That is going to be really interesting to see how they handle it. That show is going to be great, I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to that. And they're going to be introducing a lot more Green Lanterns too. He's not going to be the only one in that one, obviously.
Yep.
But he was great in this movie. Some of his fight scenes were great. There was one point where there was a scene where Superman was sitting in his apartment and Lois Lane was talking to him, and behind him was this what Superman called a dimensional imp, and it was very like visually it was really pretty looking.
Yeah,
There were a
I
lot
would
of cool
say
effects in it.
it looked like the big demon monster that was chasing America Chavez in Doctor Strange 2, like
Yeah.
if it was made of Rainbow Road.
Yeah, yeah,
That
100%.
would be
yeah.
that
If it
thing.
had a filter on it, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a really cool scene. But at one point, Green Lantern uses his ring to make like a baseball bat, and he just like smashes the imp over the head
Yeah.
like over and over again. It was super funny. They were fighting a kaiju at one point, and he uses his ring to like make this like trigger punching thing. I don't know what you want to call it. It was like, but it was like stabbing the kaiju in the eye over and over again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He
It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, some of the things that he was doing, like the middle fingers just popping up from the ground.
yeah. Those were so cool.
It was so funny. Yeah, it was great. I love how he was using his powers in this movie.
Yeah, they definitely embody his personality and what he would want to conjure up for sure. Like similarly how when Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when he was fighting Ego on like the home planet Ego, like that's where he was most powerful, and like he conjured up Pac-Man at one point, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that was cool to just see his personality show through his energy constructs. And Hawk Girl, not Hot Girl.
hate saying a name, dude.
Yeah, Hawk Girl. Her screams were like so animal-like.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
screeches, really cool. I thought it was a cool touch, and it kind of makes her like more of a fierce fighter, and kind of like it makes you a little bit more scared of her, because when you look at her initially, you think like, oh, okay, like I might be able to take her just because she's a shorter girl, so just off of appearance, people are more likely to think probably she's not as strong. But dude, she can pack a punch, and she's also completely willing to kill people.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. Her character was great. Her fight scenes were awesome. Everything from like her like armor, what she was wearing, what she was using, like that like mace sort of thing to fight people. Yeah, she was great, and the battle cry too was a great touch too. Obviously, like a hawk is like that's very akin to a hawk, like hunting its prey, you know. And she was yeah, she was awesome in this movie.
Yeah. And also, we are introduced to Mr. Terrific in this movie as well. I thought he was great. He definitely did have a bit of that unhingedness that you mentioned he would have when we were first talking about the DC universe, but not as much as I thought. It was more so just like him being frustrated with all of the BS he's like inserting himself into, because ideally he wouldn't want to get involved. He would just want to chill, but he's like seems to be the only one out of the Justice Gang who kind of believes that Superman is being framed by Luthor, so he's willing to help Lois break him out of the pocket dimension prison that he is captured in at one point. And the reason he's able to be stuck in there for so long is because initially, when the message of his parents was released, the full message, after they were able to get the full message showing that his parents wanted him to go there to rule over and kill people, basically. He turned himself in because he wanted to prove to everyone that he was willing to, answer questions and do what's right. And immediately after that, obviously, Baravia wants to go invade Jarhanpar, and he is kept in prison in that pocket dimension, even though he was trying to do the right thing, and that's what they did to him. And to keep him stuck in there, we are introduced to Metamorpho, and Metamorpho, he has the ability to change himself into any elemental compound, and that includes kryptonite. So when
Yeah,
he's put in the box, he turns his hand into a big thing of kryptonite, and he says, or sorry, Lex Luthor says to Superman, hey, if you even try to get out, or you try to convince Metamorpho to get rid of the kryptonite, I'm gonna kill Metamorpho's baby. So,
yeah.
no, I'm not gonna do
Mm-mm.
anything. So, obviously, Metamorpho is feeling like he's left with no choice but to make Superman, basically incapacitated with the kryptonite because he doesn't want to risk losing his son. But after Lex Luthor kills that innocent man that was just trying to help Superman earlier in the movie, all this guy did was give Superman a falafel for free and
Mhm.
help him out of a crater that he
Yeah, and
did.
pick him up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all that guy did. And then he used that just as kind of like rage baiting Superman, basically. And after Lex Luthor killed that guy and said, I'll kill many more people that you care about before I kill you, Metamorpho was like, look, I will stop doing the kryptonite stuff if you promise to get my baby in time. So not only does Superman promise to get his baby, Metamorpho believes him, and he turns basically his hands into different elements to create what would be similar to
he creates a
power.
star basically. Yeah,
Yeah, he creates a star basically, and he powers up Superman enough to break out of the prison cell and save his baby. And then, with the help of Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and Lois, they all escape out of the pocket dimension, which is pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. This was great, man. I really liked Metamorpho's role in this. I'm really glad he had a solid role. A super emotional performance from Anthony Carrigan. He did great in this. Um, he had mentioned like obviously he'd been like dealing with alopecia since he was a child, and he mentioned in an interview that he was going to be using some of his personal experiences to sort of um like channel that into his character. And I feel like you could totally see that. I think he was a really great on-screen presence. Really emotional scenes. I mean, him being like being able to like just sitting in a cell on like opposite of his son, who's sitting in another cell, who he knows like at any time Lex Luthor could just like use him as a ploy to get something else that he wants. Like, I mean, it was an incredibly traumatic thing for Metamorpho, and Anthony Carrigan played it really well, I think. Um, and like the everything from the them breaking out of it, him creating the star and Superman punching through the glass, them struggling through the anti-proton river was awesome. I mean, that looked great in the pocket dimension. Um, and Superman like using his super breath to push everybody out of the black hole when they were
Mm-hmm.
basically almost nearly sucked into it. Um,
Yeah, I
was
mean
awesome.
that's a crazy, like, low-key, that might have been the biggest feat of strength in the entire movie, low-key.
Yeah.
Like, his breath was enough to pull them out of the gravitational pull of a black hole.
Yeah.
A lot of "ol" in that sentence.
Yeah. And that was all like minutes after being affected by kryptonite for like who knows how long. He was
Yeah,
sitting there.
he was probably at like 70% or 75% at best there.
Yeah, at best. Yeah. I mean, that was really great.
Yeah, so then after that point, Lois takes him back to his parents, and then he has that whole talk with them, and his dad says he's proud, and then Lex Luthor realizes that if he uses the portal again, it might create that dimensional rift in reality, tearing a hole in reality. And he's like, oh, good. That's actually great. I need that, because if we do that, then Superman will definitely go there to stop it. So then we'll know where he'll be. Then I can beat the crap out of him. So that's exactly what happens. Giant rift opens in reality, and it's going to split Metropolis literally in half. And it actually does. It literally does split it in half. So Superman does show up, and he's met by Ultraman, obviously. And then that it is revealed that Ultraman is a clone of Superman.
Yeah.
Oh,
man. Yeah. That was a pretty crazy reveal. There was
sense, though.
It does make a lot of sense. Yeah. And it makes the scene of Lex Luthor going into Superman's lair make more sense too, because the layer opens from Superman's DNA, right? So how did Lex Luthor open it? Because he had Ultraman with him, who is a recreation of Superman through his DNA. So that's how he gets into it. You know, he's basically his key to getting into the layer. But
yeah,
I mean,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But for context, for what you just talking about, for those who can't remember, earlier in the movie, when they're trying to prove that Superman has an ulterior motive for humanity, they prove that he has a secret base of headquarters in Antarctica, which violates 12 international peace treaty laws, as referenced by Lex Luthor, which is his Fortress of Solitude, which comes out of the ground in Antarctica. So when Superman evades his battle at the very beginning of the movie and lands there to heal up initially, he's followed by a character named the Engineer, who is able to use very tiny nanobites called nanites, and they basically can turn into anything that she can conjure up in her mind. And she follows Superman to his Fortress of Solitude, but it goes away before she's able to go in. So she gives Lex Luthor the location, and then they go back using Ultraman, who has Superman's DNA, and then they go inside, and then that's where they get the message that Superman only got the first half of, and then the Engineer is able to decode it using the nanites, and then that's where they get the footage, which they release to the world, telling the world that Superman is a dictator, unruly piece of garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That was awesome seeing how Lex Luthor used Ultraman in this.
Yeah.
And that scene of
100%.
them like Luthor just like walking through the layer while the Engineer and everybody is like taking out the robots too. And he's just like walking menacingly straight up to the
He was
to the
aura
message
farming
board.
so hard in this movie.
Yeah, his glasses were kind of crazy, dude.
Mhm.
He was he looked pretty awesome in this. But David Cornsweet basically played 3 roles in this movie, with Superman, Clark Kent, and like this Ultraman variant of himself. All
Yeah.
characters were like very different from each other too. Superman and Ultraman basically like complete opposites of themselves, and I think he played the Clark Kent role really well as well. I think he was great for that. I feel like he really encapsulated some of the like the vibe that Clark Kent tries to give off, like very different from Superman, very like kind of awkward and strange. Like I feel like some of the scenes when he was at work, some of the direction that they gave him was just like, hey, go be awkward and look weird, and he's like, cool, got it, I got that, yeah, I know what to do. uh and so yeah, props to him. He was great in this, and he's a really good choice for Superman, clearly.
Yeah, 100%. And similar to how in the Logan Wolverine movie, he had to fight a more just like robot version of himself, basically.
Mhm.
You know, Superman had to go through a similar thing here, and you know, it was the same concept where it was the same actor portraying an entirely different version of himself. And obviously David Cornsweet's version of Ultraman was being given literal commands from Lex Luthor. So
Yeah.
he did a pretty good job of portraying like that, like almost emptiness. Just like
Mhm.
if I'm not given a command, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of like the Winter Soldier in a way, you know. Super
Yeah,
different, obviously
100%.
different.
Even the long hair.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Wow, look at you. Yeah, that was really cool. And
Yeah.
another interesting aspect too about that scene of Lex entering the Fortress of Solitude, we didn't know at the time that Ultraman was a Superman clone. So when he did enter, we were like,
Mhm.
how is this man doing all of this so casually? Like this is the Fortress of Solitude we're talking about here. Like what? How? And he's just walking in like,
It's nice in here.
yeah, he walked in like he hangs out there every Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was pretty cool, and I kind of like how they didn't reveal it until later on, because I feel like that sort of added to the mystique of Luthor. You know, kind of like let the audience like kind of theorize on how he is able to get into there, um, and maybe some people figured it out
Mhm.
along the way, but I think the reveal was great, and everything that he did in this movie was really well.
100%. And I'm very happy with the overall tone and look of the movie. Like it was very hopeful, you know, very
Hmm.
bright, very vibrant, and when bad things were going on, you could really feel it. But
Yeah,
I also loved how much faith humanity had in Superman, and faith in what he stands for, including like the little kid holding up the Superman sign in Jaranpur and saying, "Come on, Superman! Come on, Superman!" And then you know, Superman did call the Justice Gang, the Justice Gang. I love that. That name is so funny.
it's
I'm glad
great.
everyone else besides Guy Gardner hates it, because it is
Yeah.
pretty like, eh, but it is. But it's funny because of that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I am happy that Superman did send them to go help, because he did have to focus on the interdimensional rift about
Mhm.
to split the world in half, and Ultraman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
just glad that sorry, and
Oh no, go for it.
I'm just glad that Lex Luthor's attempt to bring down Superman didn't work, because all he was gonna do was just increase his power and control and rule over everybody, even his own staff. Obviously, I mean, he did not care about anyone but himself, and he was willing to do anything to anyone, like including screwing them over to get what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. The last couple fight scenes were great. Superman versus his variant, and the engineer, obviously. Um, and then the Justice Gang going to the fight at between Bravia and Jaranpur. Um, I did kind of think that, like, while the fight at Metropolis was going on, I was sort of expecting Superman to like kind of like get out, like stop Ultron, get the fight done, and then he would somehow show up in the other in the war.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't. I'm glad that he sent the Justice Gang there. Not only because like I feel like it makes more sense, but it also like showcases them a little bit
Yeah,
more. Like they had a big role at the end of the movie. And I think it really sets up their future really well. They had a
yeah.
great like showcasing, and it really shows like I feel like they did a good job, like building anticipation for the future for basically all of these characters. You know,
Yeah, a lot of good
Metamorpho.
setting up for sure.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I'm glad Metamorpho came back. I kind of thought when he walked away after Superman saved his son. That was kind of going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't, and seemingly he's going to be part of the Justice Gang now, which is going to be pretty great.
Yeah, I'm really glad he joined the squad and joined the fight at the end
Yeah.
of the movie as well. I definitely want to see more of his character.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, you did happen to say Ultron as well.
Damn it. Very similar.
No, Ultraman, Ultron, it's just an extra syllable, basically.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it. It's just funny. But yeah. Anything else you want to point out here?
I do want to shine a little more light on the Lex Luthor character. I think his performance was really great.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like scenes where like he was pretty much the main focus of, like, even when he was like in the same room as like Superman or one of the other superheroes or metahumans as well. There was one scene in particular after Superman realized that Crypto was taken, where Superman went to Luthor Corps and he confronted him, and he was obviously like very upset, and it seemed like he was kind of he was getting very aggressive, you know. He had almost like snapped at one point, but Lex Luthor's assistant is always like taking videos and pictures of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And she's recording in this situation, which it's like shortly after Luthor goes on the news and tells everybody about his parents' message. So people have like kind of are not trustworthy of Superman at this point.
Yeah.
So he kind of has to hold back his aggression that he so clearly wants to let out on Lex Luthor, because he knows that basically everybody is watching if he does something.
And it already looks bad.
Lex, I tried to stop him.
It's fine, Mother. Superman, we finally meet. Would you like a coffee?
Where's the dog?
Dog?
The dog, Luthor! You took the dog!
That's right, Eve. Get all of this.
Where's the dog?
I have no clue what you're talking about. Ugly dog in a cage?
What did you say?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So like if he like lays his hands on Luthor or anything like that, then like he's basically like proving Luthor right, you know?
Yeah.
So like I thought that was a really good fight between his like instincts and what he was really wanted to do, and like understanding like, no, I can't do this. It's not morally right, which is I mean another big focus on this movie. So I thought that was really great.
Yeah, and also when Lex like slips something under his breath, you know, like
yeah, he said I think he said like the ugly dog with the cape.
yeah, exactly.
It was like right when he like went to drink it from his mug, so like his lips weren't red. It was that was funny. He was
like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "I didn't say anything."
Yeah,
he was just rage baiting him the whole time, dude.
The whole time.
Like, I've never seen a more devoted hater in my entire life than Lex Luthor in this movie.
It was he was great. You could tell like he basically felt like he had all the power over Superman, and he was just loving it so much. And I was too, honestly. It was a pretty great scene.
Yeah, but I'm just happy that at the end of the day, Superman, and with the help of everyone else, including Crypto, they helped take down Lex Luthor and all of the terror that he was going to rain upon the rest of the world if he were to actually follow through with his plans. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, the ending was very it was a very satisfying ending, you know. I thought it was a great way to end it, and it also sets up future projects, you know, which is always great. And obviously there's going to be a lot of really great stuff coming out in the future.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the future of the DCU, and this movie definitely did a great job starting it off.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, so I would say that wraps up our video today. Would you say, CJ?
Yeah, I'd say it does.
All right, so next video, we are going to be going over the results of the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby for Major League Baseball. We are very excited about that. It's going to be a great time. Home Run Derby is later today on Monday, June 14th. June? Did I just say June?
Oh, you did say June. And I'm
not
in my head because
it is July. Wrong month. Sorry, y'all. You know, sometimes you're so deep into what you're working on, you lose track of time. You know what I'm saying?
We've been recording for a bit.
Today, July 14th, is the Derby, and tomorrow is the All-Star Game. So we will be recording and releasing that video on Wednesday. So please tune in. Thank you for watching. And if you have any suggestions for stuff that you want us to talk about in the future, leave it down in the comments. We'll be happy to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Later.